What's up, world? This is your girl P. So, how to get over heartbreak? How do we evolve and heal from heartbreak? Now, it's a disclaimer. I'm not here to project my feelings, thoughts, opinions on anyone. I'm just sharing my vantage point. We've all, at some point or another, experienced heartbreak. Maybe not. But I'm just giving it to you the way I see it. And the way I see it is that heartbreak is a painful experience. It's an emotion that can cut deep depending on how far in you are. And I believe that is the level of pain that comes with heartbreak. But nonetheless, how to get over it. I was sitting here today and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm one of those type of people. I love hard. And I think that with my ego and how I defend myself when people hurt me, they take that as that's the type of person I am. But it's actually how I defend myself. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, right? But I was thinking and I was saying to myself, like, dang, how do we get here? Like, why do we have to go through this type of stuff? I always think like that, and I say to myself, like, how to get over this, get past this type of feeling, emotion, setback. Is take your mind back to the place where before you met that person, and that's pretty much where it is. You have to go back to where you were in your life, not maybe so in your life, but mentally, where you were before that person even came into your life. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't until that person came into your life that took you down a dark place. It led you astray, obviously, so you just have to go and remember who you were before you met them. And so when I think about that, it's like I say to myself, like, you were Paulette before you met this person. You're going to be Paulette after you meet this person. You know what I'm saying? And this person came into your life for a reason. If they didn't come to stay and they didn't come to lift you up, they came to pull you down, and you know who sent them. And you can't allow another person to bring you down. You know, it is something that you experienced, but you don't have to continue to experience. And sometimes, when we go through heartbreak, we stay in that emotion. It's an emotion. It's like putting the covers and laying down on the couch and just laying there. You just stay in that emotion, but you have to remember who you were before you met that person. Like, what were you doing before you met that person? Where was your mental state? Who were you before you met that person? You have to remember who you was, because sometimes people come into your life and they make you. It's not they make you, but you tend to forget who you were. You got lost in the relationship, and you lost yourself. So, whatever that experience is, it was a lesson, but you have to come out of the illusion, because it's like that person put an illusion over you, and you have to come out of that state and remember who you were before you got them. It's like, I'll use myself as an example, right? I was Paulette before I met you. I'm going to be Paulette after I meet you. I'm not going to allow you to come into my life and cause me to forget who I am as an individual. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be me no matter what. You know what I'm saying? This experience hurt. I didn't deserve it, but nonetheless, it happened, right? But in order for me to get past it, I have to remember who I am. And that's how we get over heartbreak. We have to remember who we are, who we were before that person even walked into your life. That person walked in and that person walked out. You got to go back to where you were mentally before that person came into your life. That's the only way to get over it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to remember who you are. It's just like you forgot who you were. If you was always a confident person, not saying that you aren't after the fact, but if you was always a confident person, it's like, how are you going to let someone come into your life and rob you of your confidence because you feel head over heels for them? You have to remember who you were. You have to remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? And get back to that. And it's crazy because I was out riding and I don't know, I was riding past at the golf course and I seen some handsome men at the golf course and I was like, ooh, I was like, ooh, and I'm saying to myself, like, hey, I always tell myself, it's like, I'm Paulette. I'm a be Paulette. I was Paulette before I met you. I'm gonna be Paulette after I deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I just have to remember who I was before I met you. You know what I'm saying? You came into my life and obviously I forgot who I was because you get lost in a relationship. Not everybody does this, okay? I'm just speaking for those who may have a hard time getting over heartbreak, and I'm not projecting. It's just that sometimes we forget who we are as individuals. We're all an individual, and you know what I'm saying, you came into this world without that person. You're going to be fine, when that person leave your life, it's going to be okay. You just have to remember who you are. And once you start remembering who you are and you start thinking, get by yourself and you start thinking, it's like, I used to do this, I used to do that. I used to do this, I used to do that. And you're going to be like, hey, wait a minute. When did all of this change? It all changed when a distraction came into your life. The person distracted you from your own self, and it caused a heartbreak because you got stuck on that person. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing. It just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to paint people in a bad light. It's just when it don't work out, it don't work out. And some of us have a hard time moving on, and I'm one of them. And that's why I say I don't project. I try to lift up anyone, or anybody that has ever experienced anything like me and feel like they're by themselves and they don't have anyone to understand where they're coming from. And if you ever feel like that, I do. I know how you feel, because regardless to whether I'm a confident woman or not, I suffer heartbreak too, and it's not easy to get over it. But when you come to the conclusion that I just have to change my mind and remember who I was before that person came into my life, it'll make it much easier to move past it and change your mind and focus on something else. And don't put it to your mind like you don't want to ever date again, like that person just caused you, came into your life and now you don't want to love anymore. No, we don't. We not on that vibration. You know what I'm saying? We on a higher vibration. That person was a lesson, and now bring on the blessing. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it should, there's really not much more. You got to heal, of course, not blame, you know, not be bitter, not be angry, but just move on and just remember who you was before that person came to your life and get back to that. Yep. And that's pretty much all I got for you. And I holla though. One love. Peace.